Hi, I'm Dennis from Plain Truth Ministry. Welcome to Friday in the Word. Today I want to look at the first verse of chapter 5 in Paul's first letter to Timothy. Paul's instructing Timothy on how to treat people within the church. In the first verse, he talks about the treatment of older men in the church. He says, "Do not rebuke an older man, but exhort him as a father." Paul's working with Timothy on how to deal with folks as he encounters them dealing with sin. And as he looks at older men, he's instructing Paul to treat them with the respect that they've earned and that they deserve. He says, "Do not rebuke them." In other words, don't confront them in public. Have the conversation you need to have with them in private. There's no need to embarrass them in front of others. Also, talk to them like a man. Don't treat them like children. Don't talk down to them. They know what they're dealing with. They know the consequences of what they're dealing with. You're there to help them work through it. I'm reminded of a conversation I had with my father after he had had surgery following a heart attack. Dad was 62 at the time. I was 28. He'd had a similar issue 15 years prior when I was 13. But being the son at the time, being 13 at the time, I was in a position to have a conversation about what was going on with him. Now I was, and now I felt like I needed to. Our relationship was built on trust. It was a man-to-man relationship. Yeah, we still talked about fishing and pretty women, but we also talked about future, retirement, decisions to be made, all those things that had to go on. When he was in the hospital, he was told by the doctor that he needed to quit smoking or the smoking would kill him. Same thing the doctor 15 years earlier had told him, and he hadn't been able to quit then. Dad could have looked at the doctor and said, "You know what, screw it. I've lived as long as I have, and I've done this in my entire life. It's going to kill me. It's going to kill me." But he didn't say that out loud, even though he might have thought it. And when I looked at Dad in the moment when he was in the hospital, I saw something in his eye. Don't know whether it was fear or defeat or something else. Never really asked him. I felt like I could have said, "Listen to the doctor, Dad. Do what you're told." But in the moment, I didn't want to have that type of self-serving conversation. I simply said, "Can't smoke with an oxygen mask on. Let's get you home and get you well." Well, the time came to have the conversation, and we took a walk on the farm out to the edge of the farm and had a conversation along the way. Dad was talking about things that needed to be done later into the fall, through the winter, and beginning the following spring. I realized, without him saying so, that he had made his decision about moving forward. We got to the corner, we sat down on a log and talked for a minute. I asked Dad, I said, "Have you been thinking about, what the doctor told you in the hospital?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I think I'm going to hang around for a while. Maybe that'll keep your mother off my back about it." I looked at him and I said, "Whatever I can do to help, Dad. Catfish should be biting between now and the time it turns cold for the year." And that was really all that was said. He'd made his decision. He knew I was there for him, and we were going to walk his chosen path together. He was going to try to be better, and he was. In the next 10 years, I saw him with a cigarette in his hand 3 times. In the following 10 years, never. Dad passed a couple of weeks shy of 85. I miss him. I miss the conversations. I miss all the things that go with a father and son relationship. But I miss him more as a friend and a confidant, as someone I could truly trust and someone who could truly trust me. Respect. That's what Paul was teaching Timothy to do within his congregation. Have a great day.